Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into the biblical books of 1 and 2 Timothy, New Testament letters.
Right. And we're using a YouTube overview as our starting point here.
Exactly. And the mission is to sort of get under the skin of these letters, understand their core insights.
Mm-hmm. These are known as the pastoral epistles, basically letters from the Apostle Paul to Timothy.
Timothy being a young leader in the early church, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Paul's giving him guidance, instruction, really, on how to lead, how to shepherd the church community. Think of it like mentorship on paper.
Okay. So let's start with 1 Timothy. The source material mentions Timothy was in Ephesus dealing with some specific issues. What was going on?
Well, it seems the big things were inaccurate teaching starting to spread, and also a need for clearer leadership structures. Who should lead, how they should act.
So Paul's letter tackles that head on.
Pretty directly, yeah. It lays out qualifications for leaders, guidelines for how believers should conduct themselves, aiming for a healthy community.
And our source really flags this idea of sound doctrine. Comes up quite a bit. What exactly does that mean in this context? Why so important?
That's a great point. Sound doctrine here wasn't just like intellectual agreement. It was deeper. It was about a whole way of life grounded in certain core understandings about Jesus and how to live faithfully.
So in a time with lots of competing ideas,
Right. Paul was drawing a line, establishing these core beliefs as, vital for the church's identity. It's unity. It touches on something universal, really how any group needs its core principles to hold together.
and gets specific about leaders.
Oh, yeah. Elders, deacons, and there are lists of qualities they should have. Character matters.
Interesting, like defining the non-negotiables for the group. Okay, let's pivot to Timothy. The source suggests the tone shifts here. It feels different. Maybe Paul's final letter.
That's the strong sense, yeah. It's believed to be written shortly before his martyrdom. And you feel that. There's this urgency
The urgency for what?
for Timothy to stay faithful, to stand firm in his ministry and the teachings he received, especially because opposition and, hardship were realities.
So less about the org chart, more about personal resilience.
Precisely.
Mm.
It's very much focused on Timothy's personal commitment. Keep preaching the core message, pass on the teachings. It's a powerful call to persevere, really. Hold fast to your mission, even when it's tough.
Looking at them together then, 1 and 2 Timothy, what are the sort of enduring themes our source highlights, the big takeaways that still speak today?
I think it boils down to a few key things. Insights into leadership, which honestly apply way beyond a church context, the importance of those core beliefs, that sound doctrine idea, and crucially, perseverance, sticking with it.
So they were practical guides then, and maybe still offer encouragement now.
Definitely. Guidance for leaders, encouragement for believers trying to live out their faith. Absolutely.
You mentioned broader applications. How might someone, maybe not from this specific faith background, connect with these ideas?
Well, think about any organization, any team, or even just your own life goals. What makes a good leader? Integrity, responsibility. Paul lists things like that.
Okay.
And what about core values? That sound doctrine idea is sort of like having clear, non-negotiable principles for any project or group, right? It gives you a foundation.
Keeps you grounded when things get chaotic.
Exactly. And the call to persevere, that's universal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone trying to achieve something worthwhile faces obstacles. These letters are grappling with very human challenges. Leadership, values, resilience.
Right. So to kind of pull it all together, 1 and 2 Timothy aren't just historical documents. They offer some, timeless wisdom. Practical advice on leading, on holding on to core principles, and the need to keep going when things are hard.
Well put. They offer a framework, really, for navigating community life, for staying true to your convictions, even when facing adversity.
So here's something to maybe chew on after listening. How do these ancient ideas about leadership, about identifying what truly matters, your core values, and about the sheer grit of perseverance, how might those play out in your life, in your work, your community, wherever you are? It's kind of striking how relevant these questions still feel.